Hello, my name is Jonathan Pilkington. I'm a travel advisor, and this is the Luxury All-Inclusive Travel Podcast. In this episode, I'm talking with Rebecca Quave, one of my clients who has supported my business since the early days. She recently visited Palmaïa, which is a resort in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, for about her fourth or fifth time. Palmaïa truly is one of my favorite resorts I've ever stayed at, if not one of my favorite places in the world. And I've also stayed there several times. I'm excited for you to hear our talk about the resort that we both love so much. It's also a Virtuoso preferred hotel, which means that in addition to including some extra perks for my clients, it meets a certain standard of quality, so you know you're getting something great when you go. If you like what you hear, please contact me to book it. Links are in the show notes. My website is pilkingtontravels.com and my email is jonathan@pilkingtontravels.com. Please like and subscribe my podcast wherever you're listening. And if you're listening to an audio-only version, just know that you can also view it on YouTube. Thank you for listening or watching. Okay, so I'm talking with Rebecca Quave today, which I'm excited about. We've known each other for a while. So before she talks, I'm just going to say that I first visited Palmaïa, officially Palmaïa, the House of AïA, and I think it was actually 2020. They were offering some free trips for travel advisors because they had started in 2019, then they had to shut down because of the pandemic. So this beautiful brand new resort was pretty much a ghost town. It's an easy flight from Atlanta, so I flew down there and enjoyed 2 nights there, and it was amazing. To this day, it's one of my favorite places I've ever been. And I wrote a blog post about it then and I did an interview with the owner, Alex Ferry, and those things were online, and I think Rebecca found me that way. So then we have had an interesting back and forth relationship since then, from some singing and following Rebecca on Instagram, which she can tell you about. Yeah, so why don't you just tell us about yourself, what you do, etc.
Sure. Well, I'm happy to be here. I love how this has come full circle because, as you said, I found you because I was looking up Palmaya. I had gotten, I guess, an ad for them. What pulled me in initially was, I think it said something about like being an all vegan resort, which it was, I think, at the time in the beginning. And but I hadn't heard of it before. So I'm sort of, doing a little poking around and your YouTube video came up and so then I contacted you about booking it. And same thing. I think this was in 2021 then that I went for the first time and immediately fell in love with it. Extended my stay twice while I was there. I think I wound up being, I don't know, 8 or 9 nights because it was just heaven.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so then as far as what I do, you wanted me to mention that?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
So, I help guide people into and activate them with reconnecting to unbreakable love, which is what innately everyone inherently is, but tends to feel because of the world we live in, disconnected from, and to not just reconnect to it, but to live in it, to live from it, and to really embody it rather than it just being, theoretical, something that would be nice, something that sounds nice, right? To really let that be what you're living and embodying in your day-to-day life. And so when people work with me, I call them love leaders, regardless of what they might do in life, right? What their profession may be, what walk of life they may be from, which, I work with people from all over the world in all sorts of different walks of life and professions. But I see them all as love leaders because that's what's going to change the world, right? And you don't have to be doing something that seems on the outside to be this big, you're running around yelling to everyone about love, like I kind of do, to be honest. But people who are connected to and living in and embodying that state of love and peace and joy and harmony, that ripples out. They bring that harmony with them into whatever room they walk into. They bring that harmony with them into whatever situation they're in, right? And so as that keeps rippling out, once we get to the point where we're living on a planet where millions and millions of people are actually living in that space, it changes everything. People who are in an experience of love don't go around harming other people or blowing anything up or starting wars or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I haven't heard you say it exactly like that before, so I like that's good to hear. Um, I remember when you first wrote me an email 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said I am blank. Is there a title you give yourself?
Um, it depends because, people see it different ways. I'm definitely what people would describe as like an energetic catalyst, right? So like when when people interact with me or with my work, there's something that gets sparked, right? That you have, just like a catalyst in chemistry is something that all of what's going to actually do the reaction that's going to turn one thing into another thing, all the ingredients are already there, right? Something extra isn't needed, but the catalyst just helps get that reaction to happen, right? So
Yeah.
it's the same with anyone. Everyone is already whole and complete and has access to the love I'm talking about, has access to the depths of their being and access to what everybody's craving all the time underneath what they think they are craving, right? And so that I do like the word catalyst because it points to that, right? That it's just all the ingredients are already there, and we're just kind of setting off that reaction, helping it along faster.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Um, so I really wanted you to talk about what you do because I think you're the perfect person to be a guest at Palmaïa. And people who are attracted to you and what you do are also likely the type of person who is attracted to Palmaïa. Um, and like is not afraid of stuff that others might call woo woo. It's just like I'm totally into it. Like I enjoy following you on Instagram. I might, join you in your work sometime. Like, just haven't gotten there. Um, so speaking of Instagram, can you tell us your Instagram account to follow you?
Oh, sure. What I have right now is at the Rebecca Q. So TheRebeccaQ.
Okay, good. I'll include that in the little notes too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay, so let's go on to talk about Palmaya.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so
And I've got that. I'm sort of in that space because as you know, I've just gotten back recently from a trip after a long hiatus from Palmaya. So yeah, I have very recent experience and
right.
a series of experiences over the years, and I'm do just love it.
Yeah. Was this like your fourth visit?
I think this was maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
I'm not, yeah. I'd have to look back and see.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a
Um.
handful, we'll call it that, a handful.
Mhm.
One.
Yeah, including a retreat that you led.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I can also say, on behalf of my clients who were with me across the board, who had come from all over the world. There was only me and one couple were the only Americans. Everybody, I even had a couple who flew from Australia, which, is a bit of a a haul, right?
Wow.
And everyone across the board was just in love with it and said that it was like the perfect environment and backdrop for the kind of work that they do with me. So there is that synergy, like you mentioned, that, um, yeah.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Um, so I think one of my questions was what initially attracted you to Palmaya, but I think we've sort of discussed
Well,
that.
the first thing that got my attention was that I was going to be able to eat whatever food they handed me.
Right. Yeah. Um, so I mean, we might as well start there. So the food. What I understand is Alex, the owner, went to Burning Man And somehow that was a life-changing experience for him, and came back and decided to be a vegan and and start this resort. Um, since then, they offer meat, fish, and like it's very much a vegetable. Wait, what do we call it? Plant-based diet. But you can also have meat and fish and chicken and all three.
Yeah. So what I saw most recently, it looks like, what they're doing is that the menus are sort of by default plant-based, and then you can make a modification if you want to add your egg or your dairy or your whatever, fish or chicken or something like that. So I would say to everyone who eats plant-based, you're still fine. You know,
Right.
everything, it's still gonna feel very much, because a lot of times people who eat plant-based, or don't consume animal products or don't want to be involved in that, it's a constant when we go out, we're having to be a little bit, I don't know, paying attention, right?
Right.
To checking, triple checking, double checking. What does this have? What does this not have? It's a whole thing to navigate a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so it's a really nice experience to just, so for everybody who already eats that way, you definitely can completely relax at Palmaia because there's not anything to be concerned about. And for people who don't, so for example, over the years, always when I give a retreat, the food that whether I've arranged it myself or whatever it is, usually in the past it's been that I've arranged it myself because it wasn't set up like the wonderful setup Palmaia has. Everything is all plants, and so people come in, and for a lot of them, that may be the first time that they've ever spent a whole week eating eating only that way, and so even at Palmaia, I encouraged my clients, go ahead, and even though it's an option on the menu, I would still encourage you to just, give it a try that way for the week and see how you feel. Um,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
you know, it makes a big difference, really.
Sure. I think that is a great idea. So food and beverage go together.
Yeah.
So as a person, you are a person who does not consume alcohol, but they do also offer it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. What do you drink there that you enjoy?
So here's the thing, I maybe even kind of missed out a little bit my first couple of trips there because I don't drink alcohol at all, and haven't for many years, and so, um, I'm not in the habit to, like, look at a drinks menu or anything, right?
Yeah.
However, Palmaia has an amazing selection of mocktails.
Mm.
And not just like they have this great mocktails menu. Once I caught on maybe like my 3rd or so trip, I would go into one of the restaurants and they're offering me something and I'm letting them know, "Oh, no, I don't drink alcohol." And one time one of the wait staff said, "Oh, well, let's make you something." I think this is before they had really the extensive mocktail menu that they have now. And they made me something, and it was so delicious, and it was full of ginger, and it was an amazing compliment to the food that I was eating.
Mhm.
So now, and my daughter is a big fan of the mocktail menu. So after the first time I went with her, and she was just mocktail, mocktail, mocktail at every meal, then I started to go, "Oh, you know what? These are," and they're just beautifully well presented. They're very creative. So it really gives you, so for example, if you're someone that maybe drinks alcohol, but would like to, again, as maybe you're doing a similar kind of experiment for the week as eating the plant foods, I don't think anyone would feel like they're missing anything, right? Because
Sure.
what I didn't feel like I was missing, even if I didn't have it, just because it had been so many years, that people do enjoy is just like, that you have something and it's pretty and it's special and it's put together and it goes with your meal, right? They've got that covered even in the mocktail department 100%.
Yeah, that's great. Um, and I think it's important to note that I think like all the ingredients they use are just excellent ingredients.
Yes. Yeah, everything is top notch across the board. in that way. And the atmosphere is still, because something I think that I was asking about when I first contacted you from your YouTube video is kind of what the atmosphere is, because since they do serve alcohol, and you know, a lot of the Mexican Riviera is, it's sort of known for, it's going to be it's a party thing, or it's an
Right.
all, and I usually stay away from that environment, or like all include, a lot of the all inclusive, I think, is not really what I'm looking for in a stay, what a lot of all inclusives do. But as you know, with Palmaïa, it's not buffets, it's not anything like that. You're not being just given a bunch of something because everything's included, right?
Right.
Everything is top notch and very curated and thoughtfully put together. And I think a lot of the ingredients are organic as well, just really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And good. I never quite thought about it, but there's not any sort of buffet, not even for breakfast. Like
No,
everything's made to
no,
order.
everything is, yeah,
Yeah.
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 So you don't get that I'm at an all-inclusive feeling at all. It's still, yeah.
True. Yeah. Um, Speaking of that, I just want to mention, so they're one of the few all-inclusive resorts that is, especially in the Cancun area, that is part of Virtuoso. So by that means that they're a member of Virtuoso, they've been accepted, they met certain requirements, and which is from their service to the food and beverage and everything they offer. It's just, if they absolutely belong, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which is what made it initially so unique to me, right? Because when I'm going somewhere, I want to have a luxury stay, and most luxury environments, that's, it's alcohol, it's steak, it's caviar, right? It's the things that then aren't what I do, right? So I love seeing where I get the luxury, and I get um the type of food that I enjoy.
yes, right, perfect. Okay. Um, so let's talk about what happens when you arrive at Palmaya from your
Mm.
experience and perspective.
It's you arrive to a dedicated check-in area, and I mean, it's a wonderful moment the first time you arrive, and then, of course, it's a wonderful moment the subsequent times, because you now know, "Ah,
Right.
this is where I'm gonna be now."
Yes.
So, you get a lovely, welcome drink, which again is some kind of an herbal tonic of some sort that is very delicious,
Hmm.
and a nice cool towel, for your hands and face, and that's handled. And because of the way the property is set up, you get brought in your golf cart to where your room is, and introduced to your nomadic guide, who the nomadic guides are, all the ones that I've always encountered have been amazing. That's
Yes.
another thing as far as the service. So I took note on my most recent stay how many people I recognized that have been there from the very first time. And so, to me, that's always a good sign at a property when you have low turnover. Something's going right,
Right.
that people are enjoying what they're doing, and it's all going well. So your nomadic guide helps basically just smooth anything that needs to be smoothed,
Yeah.
right? Anything that you need during your stay, your nomadic guide will be in touch and help handle. For example, I think the first time that my daughter and I went, we wanted to arrange some scuba diving, and our nomadic guide set it up. And I mean, just really whatever you need.
Great. Yeah. So you stay in touch with them via WhatsApp on your phone.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
that's how it's been so far. I think I
Yeah.
saw an email that may be changing exactly how they do that, but I'm
Oh.
sure however they're gonna do it is gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet. Um, and they'll send you list of activities for the day. You just text them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things are done. I also just want to clarify in case anyone hears about the golf carts. So you arrive at the lobby, and it's a ride on a golf cart through actually their sister resort,
Exactly.
and that's the only time you need to be on a golf cart. Otherwise, you're just walking around. That's not a huge sprawling.
Yeah, you don't need it. Exactly, exactly. It's just at that point of check-in, because that's something that is actually one of my favorite things about
Yeah.
Palmaïa is the minute, I mean, obviously, it's wonderful in the room. All of the furnishings and finishes are so lovely and have also been, when the resort was originally created as this vegan project, everything in the rooms, the toiletries and everything are all cruelty-free as well.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, the minute you step out of your room, you're just, it's sandwiched, the buildings are sandwiched between the ocean and the jungle, and everything is left where nature comes first. So even as you start leaving your room and walking down these paths, you don't feel like you're anywhere near civilization,
Right.
except your Wi-Fi is still perfect and everything is taken care of, right?
Yeah.
And as you walk along the paths, everything's beautiful to walk along. And they also have like bicycles that you can just grab and leave wherever if you want to bike along the paths. Um, it's all really, really beautiful. If you want the feeling of absolutely being immersed in nature
Hmm.
without having to, like, camp or anything. Palmyra does the best job I've seen anywhere of striking that balance of where you feel completely immersed in nature and you still have the very top of anything that you actually need.
Right. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it feels like you just entered another world, sort of.
Yeah,
It's
completely,
so
completely.
beautiful. Um, Even down to the beach. I'm not ready to talk about the beach exactly, but it's the mangroves, right?
Yep.
The
Yes,
plants are. It's not just all cut away. It's there
exactly.
to help keep the beach beautiful, really, and the water. Um, okay, but let's back up to the rooms.
Mhm.
Any thoughts about? I think they're beautiful.
I love the rooms. The
Yes.
rooms are so comfortable, they're so beautiful, and really all of the spaces at Palmaya, something I really appreciate. There's when you're in a well-designed, well-curated space where every detail has been put in place purposefully and all of the materials have been chosen purposefully, there your body relaxes, right? Your whole energy system attunes to that.
Right.
And it might be something, I'm kind of looking at it from a different perspective of, taking in and reading all the energy of it, whereas another person might just walk in and go, oh, it looks pretty, you
Right.
know, right?
Right.
But I can say that beyond, and if you just walk in and say, oh, it looks pretty, that's fine, that's great. But from my experience, I can say that there's so much more that at every layer, it's the spaces are built so beautifully and again in harmony with nature, but also delivering everything that you as a person need to have just a really relaxed and beautiful experience.
Absolutely. Um, and the view, if you're on
Mm.
the third, is it the fifth floor? Maybe it's 335, like on a
I
higher
think
level.
so. I think I've been on 3 and for sure had beautiful views,
Okay.
definitely.
Great.
So, yeah, so all because of the way they've laid out the buildings, everything faces the ocean. So your balcony will always face the ocean. It'll just be a matter of like you said, based on the how high you are. And the views are spectacular.
Mhm.
And also when you walk out of your room, I love that view as well, right? From the little lookouts on the building with those views
Right.
of the jungle
Oh yeah, yeah.
is because it's quite a bit of land that's untouched. And I'll say this again, and this is kind of from my perspective, that there's something that feels really, I'll just say magical
Sure.
in the land that's there.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's really amazing. And of course, there are the cenotes on property as well.
Right.
Um, I don't know, have you been in there was another one that they've opened up access to. that
No, I
was
haven't.
new to me this trip.
Wow.
I'll send you photos and videos I took
Oh,
because
please.
it's
Yeah.
stunning. It's really amazing. Yeah, and they've built another third activity deck in that area as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to go. Um, okay. So back to just one little statement about, so the nomadic guides are basically like butlers would be at other resorts in the area.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and a lot of places have beautiful views of the ocean, but really is something special at at this part of Playa del Carmen. I don't know, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's sort of at the end of a beach where then kind of nature takes over, right?
mhm.
So your view, and even when you're out on the beach or whether you're up in your room on your balcony, it's not jet skis, it's not parasailing, it's not inflatable boats going by, right? It's not all of that, which it's the ocean.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Right, me too. Um, okay. Um, how about activities? They have such an assortment of very
Yeah.
interesting things I've never experienced anywhere else.
Well, this is where I think this is a big strength at Palmaia, especially for, again, if you're somebody, I know that you said that someone like me loves a place like this because it's already what I live every day, all day,
Right.
right? But I think that Palmaia is even more special for people that this isn't what they already live all day, every day, right?
Right.
That if they're just curious, to eat some plants, that if they're just curious to have some yoga and some meditation and some sound baths and whatever, Palmai is an ideal place for that because they have a full roster of activities every day that you're welcome to partake or not partake in as
Mhm.
many as you want. And so I think it gives somebody who's just curious to start to explore these kind of things such a relaxed way to do that, right? You're not having to like be at home and commit to like, oh, are you going to sign up for this 6 week series of something of like things that you're not even sure if you want to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
You you can just pop in and have a sound bath and see how it feels to you. You
Absolutely. Yeah.
can you can go to a yoga class, and even with the yoga, for example, they offer different types, right?
Mhm.
So it's not all just, like a vinyasa flow that's a more challenging class for some people if you haven't done yoga before, right?
Yeah.
But then they have breath work and yoga. And one of my favorite things actually is the art classes that they offer as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a drawing class regularly and a watercolor regularly, and I think another one, but um one of the teachers there, I had a wonderful conversation with her even this most recent time, Eva. She teaches it from a different perspective. She really sits you down and helps you even do your drawing as almost like a little mini personal growth experience, right?
Yeah.
Of like taking the labels off of what you're seeing and to just put right. So everything is, and for example, with the sound work, Renee, who's there, does amazing um, sound baths. I work with
Mhm.
sound myself, so I'm a little picky about when I go places. So
Right.
Palmaya is a real treat for me that I get to go receive an incredible sound bath. So the people that they bring in for the activities are fantastic.
I agree. Yes. Um, yeah, I've enjoyed so many, everything I've ever done there. I just thought was
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. I did. It was the first time. Somehow I've tended to. I don't know how I end up missing it usually, but for the first time this visit, my daughter and we did the cacao ceremony
Ooh,
that we
yes.
had never done, and it was lovely. Yeah,
That is, when I hear cacao ceremony, I'm just like, what in the world is that? But I did it the last time I was there, and it was beautiful. Like, I had no
yeah.
idea how great that would be.
Well, it's something that I usually don't have much interest in.
Hmm.
But there specifically, and I realized afterwards, and my daughter and I talked about this, that I think because the women who were conducting it are actually connected to the roots of those traditions, right? And the actual ancestry of those traditions,
Right.
and not just whatever, whoever just woke up one day and decided they could do a cacao ceremony, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that that's why that's been my one time that I'm like, you know, here I think I want to do it
That
actually. So I would
makes
recommend it to
sense.
anyone. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Um, do you have experience with Balder, the shaman?
No, no, I don't
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I've met him, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a full-time employee pretty much at Palmaïa, and he's a shaman from I can't think of it's the same place Jesus is from. I can't um and he's fantastic. He leads some of the classes and activities. I did a meditation thing with him once and a breathing class once. Yeah, he's great. Um, so yes, there's so much to do, and all included. You can okay. What is not included is the spa. Have you
Which
done a
is
spa?
also fantastic.
Okay, yes.
The spa is worth going to 100%. Um, yeah, but again, it's what's part of the beauty of Palmaya is you can watch the waves and do nothing but that and have a wonderful experience. You can go to every activity and book into the spa every day and do whatever, and you're gonna have a great experience. And it's then really great for, you know, if, you know, you're going with a group of friends or with, kind of a bigger family, there's you then everybody gets to whatever their temperament is, right? If they're a just watch the waves only all day person, they get to do that. And if they're a give me give me something new every hour, they can do that too, you know.
Right. Yes. So you have had spa treatments. Is that
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought so.
Sorry. I got yeah,
Yeah.
no, the spa is top notch. Some of the best treatments I've had anywhere.
Great. Okay. Um, and that is so first of all, that's a virtuoso perk. You get $100 spa credit.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a cenote in the spa, right? That is part of the treatments.
Yeah. So there's a cenote that you can only access by going through the spa area. So it's limited to if you have a spa reservation, I think that day, but that, you know, they let you know the details at the spa.
Mhm.
So that cenote is very quiet, very private. I mean, kind of they all are, I've noticed, even though, um, you know, and that's another beauty of Palmaya. I've stayed there, you know, each time it's been at a different level of occupancy,
Right.
right? From very low in 2021, like you said, kind of having having a lot of space, to when it's like current day and like spring break week and it's
Right.
much more full, and that's part of the beauty of what they've created there and with the way they've arranged the spaces and arranged the resort and had it be immersed in nature, it never ends up feeling full or crowded
Yeah.
at
That's been my
all.
experience too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing.
Hmm.
It really is.
Yeah. Um, so I think that's sort of like the layout, partially. It's like it's just a line of buildings, basically, maybe seven or so,
Yeah, maybe I don't know, yeah.
five to seven. And the beach is pretty much the entire length of that. So it's very spread out.
Yeah.
Um, and also the pools. So the it's not the pools are beautiful, but it's not a pool resort, I wouldn't say. Like
No. No, you could easily like, I sometimes forget the pools are even there,
yeah.
you know? Because again, the way they've arranged, even though it sounds like, okay, well, like you said, it's just laid out in a straight line, that doesn't sound like but within that, it's then all of these meandering, beautiful paths and spaces, and again, even the activities that you mentioned, those happen on these beautiful outdoor decks
Right.
where instead of just a deck being built, the trees were left in place. So the deck was built around the trees, and the trees all come up through the deck.
Yeah.
And so it's, again, it keeps that nature immersion in place. On a very pragmatic level, it makes it very comfortable because you have shade,
Right.
right? And then there's a space, there are some indoor spaces where activities happen as well, which are also just stunning and
Yeah.
beautiful. So it's a great either way.
Right. Um, I absolutely agree. The the pools that
Yeah.
so they're infinity pools that kind of are blocked because of the natural uh, plants that are left. Um, and I don't see that as a weakness at all, but sometimes you want a little pool time to just be in that water.
Yeah, they just sort of hug along the buildings
Yeah.
where you have in those areas there are rooms that and people love this that on the first floor it's just a swim out room, right?
Right.
So if you're in one of those rooms, you're definitely not going to forget that the pool is there.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's not like this centerpiece of the resort like you so
Right.
often see where there's like, and then so everyone's gathered there and it's a lot of noise and ruckus. That's the other thing. It always feels so peaceful and quiet in the nicest way at
That's
Palmaïa because there is sound, right? But it's all harmonious sound, if that makes sense.
absolutely, yeah. Um, so from that area where the pools are, there's little paths with greenery on the sides, and it's one of my favorite beaches to hang out at
Yeah.
because of the different types of seating.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a big one for me too.
Yeah.
Because I love everything, everything for the beach is an assortment of different little like palapas with like those kind of beanbag type beach
Hmm.
long beach beds in them, or some of them are sort of like little triangular huts that then it's sort of like a mattress in the bottom with pillows. All of this, what you're not going to find at Palmyra is boop, 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 row of chairs all up against each other with umbrellas sticking up in between. No, thank you. It feels like your own beach that just happens to be there and you're just in nature. But again, like I said with so many other things, and someone will bring you a coconut
Right.
or a little bite of something to eat or your mocktail or your actual cocktail or whatever it is that you're
Yes.
that you're having. So it feels like this like, remote, private, left left completely natural beach experience and all of your conveniences. Yeah.
Right. And that is one little bit of technology. They have little buttons you press for the servers and they come right away. It's kind of what you want life to be like, I think.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
It's what I like. I have not been to Hawaii, but it's like if I were to go, that's what I would want, I think. Or it's what people think of.
Yeah.
um, so okay. Food and beverage and pools and rooms and beach and um anything else you can think of that we have not covered?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me with Palmaya is it's that, it's really one of those experiences that the sum is greater, that it's greater than the sum of the parts. Or what is that?
Mhm.
I'm not saying that expression right. You know what I'm saying. I don't know why
Yes.
my brain's not completely on today. Um, right? Because you could take any one of those things and you could even take a list of all those things and go, okay, well that adds up to a nice experience. But what the experience there actually is something so much more, and you can't pin
Right.
it down to any one thing, or even there's such a synergy there. There's such a yeah, just from the moment that you sit down for the first time. So one of kind of the main restaurants that's a completely outdoor space that's called Sukasa.
Yes.
And you know what I'm talking about. There's a moment when you sit down at your table with just that natural beach laid out in front of you,
Right.
and you get served this beautiful food, and it's yeah, every part of it top to bottom. I think that's really what it comes down to is if you think you've been to a similar type of resort, you haven't.
You're right.
Not really.
Yeah.
Right. Because as you know, I've been traveling for almost 2 years now, and that's why I hadn't been to Palmaia, and I've been on the lookout for,
Mhm.
okay, is there something, and I've stayed in some amazing places, really stunning places, really beautiful places, and Palmaia is still different.
Mm, that's great to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It still has a magic that, when I was planning to be on the same continent, that was my first thing, I sent you a message, "I'm gonna be in the Western Hemisphere. Let's book me for Palmaia, please."
right. And I was so excited. Yeah, it's a sort of place once you've experienced it, you kind of crave it to go back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I really need to work out a trip soon. So, yeah, there are things we haven't mentioned, but they can be surprises. We've we've hit the highlights.
I think so. I mean, there's so many things. There's, the
Yeah.
cenotes and the way the beach is and all of the nature, um, and all of the things that are available to you, you
Right.
know? Because again, the spa, for example, is a real first class full service spa,
Yes.
even though it's not imposing. Like you would walk down the path and you would just see this little door, that says Atlantis, and that's the entrance to the spa. And then once you go through that door, everything opens up and you're kind of in a whole world. There's a lot of experiences at Palmaya that have sort of a TARDIS feel to them, if you will, right? That something you could overlook it as one thing on the outside, and then you step in and it's bigger on the
Yes.
inside. It
Uh,
turns into something else entirely. I don't know if
Absolutely.
everyone has that Doctor Who reference, but that was the best way I could think of to describe it is
Yeah,
that sort of TARDIS experience. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Um, well, it's great to talk to someone who is equally passionate about this place as I am. Um, like obviously we just go on and on about it. um,
True, true.
yeah, yeah. So I love it. Um, but one little detail. So it's about a 45-minute drive from the Cancun airport.
Yeah.
Um, it might sound bad to some, but it's not a bad ride at all.
It's
Um,
not. It's not.
yeah.
And I get that because listen, I'm a land me right where I'm going. Don't put me in the car. I don't feel like being in the car.
Mhm.
But it goes by very quickly,
Yeah.
especially when it's not the first time that you've gone, because you know you're about to be, like I said, sitting in that chair at Sukasa looking at the view, and
Mhm.
the car ride just fades away.
Yes. Yes. That's great. Um, so it's probably a great place to wrap it up. So thank you so much for talking with me. This has been really fun.
You're welcome. It's terrific to be here. I would definitely recommend it to anyone.
Yeah. Okay. We will talk soon. Thanks again for watching or listening. In case you're listening to this as an audio podcast, it is available on YouTube so that you can see any photos or videos that we discussed. Search for the Luxury All Inclusive Travel Podcast and subscribe there. Please contact me to book any of the resorts or other all inclusive offerings discussed in the podcast, or to inquire about something I haven't covered yet. Please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Most importantly, please visit my website at pilkingtontravels.com or email me at jonathan@pilkingtontravels.com when you are ready to travel. Thank you.